Did you know that 3.3 million unemployed American adults had substance use disorder in the past year? Hi, my name's Alexandria Grantham, and my topic is social determinants of drug use and addiction, understanding the role of society in shaping substance use disorder. First, I'll be talking about what are social determinants. And they are the conditions in which people are born, grown, live, work, and the age that influence their health and behavior. On the side, I included a picture of potential determinants, and they include social and community context, education access and quality, economic stability, healthcare access and quality, and neighborhood and built environments. Next, I'll be talking about addiction. What is addiction? Addiction is a chronic brain disorder characterized by compulsive substance use despite harmful consequences. It affects the brain reward system, motivation, and decision-making processes. People who take drugs initially do so voluntarily, but repeated drug use can lead to brain changes that challenge self-control and make it harder for them to resist drug cravings. My first determinant I'm talking about is homelessness. According to an article I got from JSTOR, injection drug users or IDUs make up a significant portion of the homeless population, with the research indicating that between 10 and 20% of homeless individuals engage in substance abuse, and up to 25 to 50% have a history of drug use over their lifetime. While drug use is a contributing factor to homelessness, the conditions associated with homelessness, such as limited access to health care, engagement in risky behaviors, and exposure to unsafe living conditions, often worsen and perpetuate substance abuse. Homeless individuals are more likely to resort to substance use as a coping mechanism, which further entrenches their vulnerability, leading to a vicious cycle of worsening addiction and homelessness. This relationship highlights the need for integrated solutions that address both substance use and the structural challenges of homelessness. My second determinant is poverty. People who lack stable employment and housing are more likely to use drugs as a coping mechanism. People use drugs as a temporary means of escape in communities going through chronic stress or lacking meaningful opportunities. One of my sources, I used chapter 13 of High Price by Dr. Carl Hart. And in that chapter, he talked about how he worked in help groups for people suffering from substance use disorder. And while while there, he discovered a large number of people were having the same problems pertaining to home, such as poverty, cost of housing, and other essentials. Dr. Carl Hart emphasizes that addiction is not inevitable or immutable. He argues that addiction is a symptom of deeper societal problems such as inequality and despair rather than an inherent flaw in individuals. My next determinant is healthcare access. Access to quality healthcare, including mental health services, is essential for the prevention and the treatment of substance use disorder. Many individuals struggling with the drug use turn to substances as a means of coping with untreated mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and trauma. Addressing both mental health and substance use concurrently is crucial for effective treatment and long-term recovery. However, healthcare access remains a significant challenge, especially among marginalized communities. Individuals with minority groups, low-income communities, and those experiencing homelessness often face systemic barriers that hinder their ability to receive care. These barriers can include limited insurance coverage, lack of affordable healthcare options, and challenges related to social economic status, such as unemployment and housing instability. In addition, the stigma surrounding substance use and mental health disorders further exacerbates these disparities, preventing many from seeking help or receiving adequate care. This highlights the need for policy changes that ensure better healthcare access for these vulnerable populations, as well as a reduction in the stigma associated with both substance use and mental health struggles. During my research, I found that African Americans and Hispanics have a greater unmet need for alcohol and drug abuse treatment and mental health compared to whites. Next, I'm going to be talking about chronic pain and how chronic pain plays a part in addiction. Chronic pain affects over 30% of Americans, with prevalence exceeding 40% among older adults. Due to its widespread impact, opioid analgesics have become the most commonly prescribed medications in the US, with 245 million prescriptions dispensed in 2014. Analgesics are medicine, basically. Most prescriptions were for short-term use, but 9.6 to 11.5 million adults receive long-term care. The improper use and diversion of opioid prescriptions have fueled a national epidemic, with 37% of the 44,000 drug overdose deaths in 2013 linked to pharmaceutical opioids, alongside a rise in addiction rates affecting 2.5 million. And that is a link that is from, I believe, the University of New England. Um, my next slide is about the economic cost. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, substance abuse costs the U.S. more than $740 billion annually in healthcare expenses, lost productivity, and criminal justice-related costs. This staggering figure highlights the widespread economic burden of drug misuse across society. A 2020 study further revealed that the opioid epidemic alone has contributed over 1.5 trillion in economic losses, encompassing healthcare costs, lost wages, law enforcement expenses, and premature deaths related to opioid use. This demonstrates the extensive financial strain opioid places on the U.S. economy and healthcare system. Alcohol misuse contributes significantly as well, with an estimated annual cost of approximately 249 billion, while illicit drug use adds another 193 billion dollars. These costs reflect not only direct healthcare expenditures, but also indirect economic impacts, such as the loss of workforce, productivity, and the financial strain on the criminal justice system. Together, these statistics underscore the pressing need for comprehensive prevention, treatment, and policy interventions to reduce the societal and economic costs of substance use in the U.S. Next, I'm going to be talking about how to reduce the stigma and encourage change. During my research, I found that it's pretty easy to reduce the stigma, and a few ways we could do that is by replacing terms like addict with person with substance use disorder to reduce negative perception. This may produce empathy while also focusing on the individual. Also, we could teach the families and the communities about the complexities of addiction and drug use so that we can reduce the misconceptions of drug use and create conducive environments to recovery. And normalizing care pathways and reduce societal stigma by increasing access to addiction treatment and in primary care and correctional facilities. I use the quote, don't wait for a storm to change your life. Create the storm that will change your life by Topher Pike. Drug use and addiction are not isolated problems, but they are rooted in social conditions that we can address together. With overdose deaths and addiction rates rising, now is the time to take action to address these systemic issues. I believe we have the power to change the cycle of addiction. We just need to actually put a good effort in and, work together. And these are my references.